Uy! Uy, hi Dito.
Well, you're taking social anthropology?
Yes, I'm currently taking it right now.
Ano yung mga natutunan sa social anthropology?
Marami, like philosophers like Weber, Marx, and Simmel.
Mainly them. Tell me a little bit about Georg Simmel.
Alright, so Georg Simmel was born in Berlin, the heart of Berlin in 1858. He was primarily a philosopher whose studies range from philosophical or social issues like ethics and philosophers like Kant. Also, he was a well-known microsociologist during his days.
What are the levels and areas of concern of his studies?
Well, there are actually primarily three, but actually there are four that there's a fourth that emerged. So the first three were the microscopic assumptions about the psychological components of social life. Next is, on a slightly larger scale, is his interest in the sociological components of interpersonal relationships. And the third is the most microscopic of his works is his work on the structure of and changes in the cultural spirit of times. And lastly, emerging from these three is the metaphysical principles of life.
Renz, ano yung individual consciousness?
Actually, di ko na alam eh. Tanong nyo na lang sa kanya. Feeling ko alam niya eh.
Ay, nakita kong isang babae.
Ano yun?
Yung individual consciousness, alam mo ba yun?
Yung individual consciousness. Si Simmel kasi, mas nag-focus siya sa forms of association kaysa sa issue about individual consciousness. But he explained that human beings possess creative consciousness.
Ano naman yung creative consciousness?
Creative consciousness, meaning you're able to respond appropriately to the people around you or the things around you.
Yung basis of social life according to Simmel.
Social life to Simmel, it's a group of individuals that interact with one another based on their purpose or interest. Actually, yung individual consciousness sa topics ni Simmel, meron siyang role na first is actors must be consciously oriented with one another. And next is people must conceptualize themselves on the structures para may effect siya. And next, norms and values of society become internalized in individual consciousness. So people must submit to the norms and values of the society. And lastly, people have an ability to confront themselves mentally. Although the mind enables us to protect or to avoid yung mga pangyayari, mind also creates structures and institutions that limits our thoughts and actions. Sige, muna na ako.
Uy! Yung phone mo! So, ayun nga. So that brings us to our next topic, social interaction. So according to Georg Simmel, society is a web of interactions between people. So, ito na siya. Yung phone mo pala nakalimutan mo.
Thank you.
So, social interaction is about people interacting with each other. An individual being able to attract people's attention and also being able to communicate properly with them. Social interaction just means that the powerful cannot exercise their power without the complicity of their subordinates. So interaction equals power. What is the basic means of interaction? A family is the crystallization of interactions between individuals. So according to Simmel, society is made up of the interactions between and among individuals. And the interactions between them, that is what the sociologist should study and pattern and forms of these associations rather than quest after social laws. Another form or example of social interaction is economic quantification. Dito lumalabas yung pag-explain ni Simmel sa money. So Simmel's take in money in regards to social interaction is that it has an association with Marxist economic categories. So social interaction is in the process in which people transfer goods, services, and other items with each other. There is an exchange that happens. So dito nangyayari ang competition between people in which they have a similar or different goals and they achieve them through competing with each other, and the latter part be evolving into what they want to become. So that means social interaction leads to another topic in which people interact with each other. Eto na, dito na nangyayari ang social, dito na nabobo ang social structure. Uy pre, ano daw yung social structure?
Ay, bukas na lang, uwi na ako. Gabi na.
Sige, ingat.
Tomorrow.
Uy pre, ano na yung social structures?
Ha? Kapon pa kayo eh. May ginagawa ko dito eh. Sige na nga.
So yun nga, social structures. Simmel rejected the realist exemplification by Durkheim that society is a real material entity. It was noted by Louis Coser that he did not see society as a thing or as an organism. He was also uncomfortable with the conception that society is nothing more than a collection of isolated individuals. He said that society is merely the name for a number of individuals connected by interaction. In his historical and philosophical sociologies, he saw society as part of the broader process of development of objective culture, which worried him. However, what worried Simmel the most was that the threat to individual culture posed by the growth of objective culture. It is this that Simmel described as the tragedy of culture. So what's the tragedy of culture, you may ask? The tragedy of culture, Simmel theorized, occurred as societies modernized and the massive amounts of objective cultural products overshadowed the subjective abilities of the individual. Presented with more options than one person can ever hope to experience in a lifetime, the modern individual runs the risk of stunting his or her social psychological growth. So, yun lang. Pwede ko na ba ituloy yung ginagawa ko?
Yun lang ba? Paano yung sa money?
Ha? Si Jobins naman, di pa nagsasalita, oh.
The philosophy of money illustrates well the breadth and sophistication of Simmel's thinking. Simmel was interested in the broad issue of value, and money can be seen as simply a specific form of value. Simmel was interested not in money per se, but its impact on such wide range of phenomena as the inner world of actors and the objective culture as a whole. Like Marx, Simmel focused on the capitalism and the problems created by money, which Simmel saw the economic problems of his time as simply a specific manifestation of more general cultural problem, the alienation of objective and subjective culture. Money and value. People create value by making objects separating themselves from those objects, and then seeking to overcome the distance, obstacles, and difficulties. The greater the difficult to obtain an object, the greater its value. However, difficulty of attaining has a lower and upper limit. The value of things comes from the ability of people to distance themselves properly from the objects. Factors involved in the distance of an object from an actor. The time it takes to obtain it, its scarcity, the difficulties involved in acquiring it, the need to give up other things in order to acquire it, and people try to place themselves at a proper distance from the object which must be attainable but not too easy. Kaso ang money, may mga negative effects din yan eh. Kaso absent ako nun. Wait lang. Uy! Kenneth! Naalala mo yung negative effects ng money?
Ay, oo.
Absent kasi ako nun eh.
Sige, ako na mag
Say no? Sige ah.
One of the negative effects of money is impersonal relations among people. So, in-explain dun sa impersonal relations among people is nawawalan na yung relationship between two people and parang ang tinitignan na lang ng people is yung positions nila. So, another negative effect is nagkaroon siya ng impact sa money economy and meron two things. One is individual freedom. So, yung individual freedom is parang lalong nagkakaroon ng individual enslavement because of money. And another is reduction of all human values. And alam naman natin na money is the root of evil, parang ganun. Tapos yun. Effect din ng negative of money is tragedy of culture. And tragedy of culture is divided into two parts. Subjective and objective. So subjective culture is that kabilang niya is yung beliefs, norms, and deep culture. So yung objective naman is individual culture, surface culture, visible characteristics, and manifestations such as clothing and eating habits. So yung dahil sa objective culture, parang nasisira na yung individual culture. So kahit may negative effects yung objective culture, meron pa ring mga positive effects. People have greater freedom in such an environment to develop their individuality to a fuller extent. And may personal gratification din yung money sa individual person kasi mas makukuha mo yung gusto mo dahil may money nga. Then, money helps people grow increasingly free of the constraints of their social groups.
Okay. Gets ko na. Thank you.